Good day. In today's video, we'll be discussing about planning. What do you mean by planning in management? Then what are certain characteristics of planning, certain definitions, etc. So we all know or we have heard term planning in many times. During every occasion, during when we are doing anything, we'll be hearing or we'll be planning things. So, for the successful and effective utilization of resources in an organization, the organization should have, or the management of the organization should do proper planning. So, planning involves determination of objectives of that particular business, then formation of certain programs, then courses of action to be attained, then development of certain schedules, etc. And we know that without planning, if we do anything, it won't be that much successful or it won't be that much fruitful. So it lies at the basis of all other managerial functions, that may be organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, everything. We need planning. So without planning, we cannot, or it is not possible to do all those managerial functions. And this planning involves selecting certain missions and objectives and certain actions to achieve those objectives. And a sound planning is very important, or a sound planning helps the organization to achieve their goals in the desired action or in a better way. It helps us, and it involves setting of objectives and goals, designing appropriate strategy, course of action, framing plans and procedures for execution, etc. So now we can go through what do you mean by planning. So planning, it is very essential in every walk of life, that not only for the organization, for each individual on the earth, we need, whatever we are doing, we need proper planning. And planning is the first and foremost function of management. It helps the that is, even the planner can develop himself by giving good plans on their future developments. So what do you mean by planning? Planning is, or it is as intellectual, or it is an intellectual process of thinking resorted to decide a course of action which help to achieve the predetermined objectives of the organization in future. That is, in future period, what all things we should be achieved, or what all things we have to achieve. All these things should plan properly, then only we can achieve it. So planning means it is an intellectual process, that is, by thinking with our past experience or with our future reference, with proper or intellectual thinking, we decide certain things to be done to achieve or to get a goal in the future. So that is planning. These are certain definitions according to Kuhn and O'Neill. Planning is deciding in advance what to do, when and how to do, and who is going to do it. So that definition is very clear. Clear definition, that is, planning means, that is simply deciding in advance what we are going to do, when we do it, who will do it. So planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, when to do, and who is to do it. And this planning bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to go. And another definition by Terry, George R. Terry, planning is selecting and relating of facts and making things possible. That is, planning is the selecting and relating of facts and making and using of assumptions regarding the future in the visualization and formulation of proposed activities believed necessary to achieve desired results. That is, we'll be having certain, or we'll be expecting certain results to happen. For that, we'll be relating certain facts and we'll be selecting certain facts, we'll be relating them, we'll be making use of certain things to happen by using certain assumptions, and that is planning. Now we are going to discuss about certain characteristics of planning. So we know that planning is thinking about our future or thinking more about our future. So planning, most important characteristics of our planning is looking into future. Then planning discovers the best alternative out of available many alternatives will be available, and we'll be studying about everything and we'll be selecting the best one. That is discovering the best one. So it helps us to discover the best alternative out of many alternatives. Then it is a continuous process. By doing planning during one period, it is not enough. We will be doing planning continuously. So planning is a continuous process. Then planning involves predetermined line of action. Then predetermined time of action means we will be deciding in advance, and things to be happen, all those things should be put together. Then planning is a continuous. Then planning requires considerable time for implementation, that is without having or sudden programs won't be implemented, it will be planned before, and before planning we need but enough time. Then planning objects us to achieve predetermined objectives in a better way. Then it another characteristics is that it integrates various activities of the organization. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഒരു കാര്യം പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ വെറുതെ പ്ലാനിങ് മാത്രമല്ല, പല കാര്യങ്ങളെ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കമ്പൈൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യുക. പിന്നെ നമ്മൾ പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ പീരിയഡ്, സ്പെസിഫിക് പീരിയഡിലേക്കായിരിക്കും. സോ പ്ലാനിങ് ഇസ് ഡൺ ഫോർ എ സ്പെസിഫിക് പീരിയഡ്. Then planning is required at all levels of management. Even top level management പോലും proper planning വേണം. അവർ എന്ത് കാര്യമാണ് പ്രയോറിറ്റി കൊടുക്കുന്നത് അതനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് വേണം ഓർഗനൈസേഷന് ബാക്കി കാര്യങ്ങൾ നടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ. അപ്പം ആ ഒരു ആക്ടിവിറ്റി എല്ലാ ലെവൽസിലും വേണം. ടോപ്പ് ലെവലിനും വേണം, മിഡിൽ ലെവലിനും വേണം, ലോവർ ലെവലിനും വേണം. Then planning directs the members to the organizational goal. ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ ഗോൾ എങ്ങനെ അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മൾ മാനേജ്മെൻ്റ് ഒരു നല്ല പ്ലാൻ തയ്യാറാക്കി കൊടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ദാറ്റ് വിൽ ബി മോർ ബെനിഫിറ്റ്.